Hey, this is Dr. Paul. Just wanted to share with you. I'm actually going to be doing a webinar here in the next few days, and it's going to be showing patient education and essentially how to increase your practice $100,000 in 90 days. And that's only with patient education and reported findings. In other words, learning how to basically stop losing patients. And as an example, we just had another couple clients. They were seeing 140 visits a week when they joined 90 days ago. They applied the patient education system. They went from 140 visits to 216 visits in just under 90 days. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means over $200,000. They just increased at a $50 per visit. So $50 per visit, that increase is about $216,000. So they increased their business $216,000 in 90 days. Well, there's good news and bad news about that. The bad news is they've been in practice 5 years and they've been losing that amount of money by not knowing it. So the good news is I'm actually going to share the steps of how we did that in the webinar. I'm going to share with you the common mistake doctors make and the exact steps to stop it and to keep patients and make care affordable. And I'll just share with you right now some of the common mistakes doctors make. They violate there's some common violations. Number one is using concepts and words patients don't understand. They don't understand subluxation. They don't understand innate. Another is violating the natural purchase cycle. We buy things in a natural cycle, a 4-step cycle psychologically. And when you violate that, you significantly decrease the likelihood of the patient accepting what it is you're offering. You also, that's another one, also not using what's called third-party trusted factors. In other words, the care should never be based on you, the chiropractor. It should be based on things that they already know and trust. That's called third-party trusted factors. And then some of the other factors is that are commonly go wrong is just the violations of the words, violations of the cycle, and even the information. The information when you don't deliver the information in the chronological order that they want it subconsciously. That happens all the time. I did an analysis with a doctor, and she didn't establish anything. She didn't establish the problem. She could help, how long it would take, how much it cost, nothing. And she's already talking about goals for care. Or we're going to start treatment or take x-rays, and the patient had no idea any of that. Well, needless to say, this doctor does not have a very good patient retention. So there's a lot of communication violations going on there. So I'm going to go over exactly the categories of how I took Dr. Ben and Dr. Trevor. We took them to, and this is real common, 92% of our clients that do this increase their business over $100,000 in 90 days. They took it up to over $200,000 in 90 days. All you do is you have to know the basic concepts of communication, of how people communicate. And unfortunately, chiropractic and the chiropractic systems routinely violate that. That's often why I see chiropractors. That's one of the reasons the chiropractors have a new patient problem, because they're losing patients all the time. So I'm Dr. Paul. Again, I've opened 77 offices in 20 states, so I think we've got this down pretty good. So anyway, if you're interested in learning the exact steps and the outline of what's called reverse engineering patient education. In other words, it's based on what the patient wants and needs consciously and subconsciously, and the order that they want the information delivered. That's what it's about. Now, once you do that, you just have to go to terms. You have to know how to talk terms to make it affordable. But remember, if you don't know how to establish need in those categories, it doesn't matter what kind of terms you give. They're not going to accept them. But it's that combination. I'm going to go through exactly how we routinely increase doctors' practices over $100,000 in 90 days at the webinar. Show up, register, and we'll see you at the webinar. We'll go through the details.